It starts small. A simple request from someone you love, so you're happy to do it. But then, if you hesitate, there's a little guilt trip. A comment that makes you feel special for saying yes. And before you know it, you're apologizing for things you never did, making excuses for their behavior, and the people who were once your biggest supporters feel a million miles away. If this sounds familiar, you're not imagining things, and you are definitely not alone. You're likely dealing with a powerful manipulation technique called coercion. Coercive control isn't a single bad day or a one-off argument. It's a quiet, deliberate campaign to dominate, isolate, and control you. Think of it like a net being slowly tightened around you. At first, it's so loose you barely feel it. But with every subtle pull, your space to move, think, and just be yourself gets smaller and smaller, until you feel completely tangled up. Today, we're going to break down exactly how this works and give you a clear, actionable plan to start breaking free. Part 1, The Problem, the 3 stages of coercion. So, how does this even happen? How does a relationship that might have started with so much promise turn into a source of constant confusion and pain? Coercion doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow burn, unfolding in 3 stages designed to disorient you and tear down your defenses. Stage 1, the innocent request and the guilt that follows. This is the foundation. It all starts with behaviors that can easily be passed off as love. The manipulator might shower you with attention, compliments, and gifts, a tactic called love bombing. This creates a rush of intimacy and gratitude, making you feel like you're the center of their universe. Once that bond feels solid, the small requests start. Can you skip your yoga class tonight? I just miss you so much. Let's just have a quiet weekend, the 2 of us, instead of going to that party. They sound innocent, even romantic. But if you hesitate, part 2 of this stage kicks in, the guilt trip. Suddenly, the request is a test of your love. I thought you loved spending time with me, or, if you really cared about how stressed I am, you wouldn't want to go out tonight. This works so well because it frames their control as a need for your love, and it frames your independence as a rejection of them. It preys on your empathy, making you feel selfish for wanting anything for yourself. They aren't just asking for your time, they're testing your boundaries to see how easily they can be pushed. Stage 2, escalation and making you question your sanity. Once you've been conditioned to say yes to those small, guilt-laced requests, the manipulator moves to stage 2. The demands get bigger, more frequent, and less reasonable. This is also where they start to systematically make you feel like you're losing your mind. The main tool they use here is gaslighting. Gaslighting is a twisted form of manipulation where they deny reality to make you doubt your own memory and perception. You'll start hearing things like, "That never happened. You're just imagining it. You're being way too sensitive. It was a joke. I literally never said that. You're remembering it wrong." This often comes with a healthy dose of blame shifting. When you try to confront them about something hurtful they did, they'll flip it around until it's your fault. "I only yelled because you were pushing my buttons, or you knew I was in a bad mood, and you kept provoking me." After a while, you start to believe it. You second-guess everything, wondering if maybe you are the problem. During this stage, they might also start moving the goalposts. No matter how hard you try to please them, it's never enough. The rules for their approval are always changing, leaving you in a constant state of anxiety, always trying to win a prize you can never get. This is all designed to shatter your self-esteem, making you feel so fundamentally flawed that you need them to guide you. Stage 3, isolation and total control. This is the final and most dangerous stage. After successfully wrecking your confidence and your sense of reality, the manipulator works to cut you off from your support system. Your friends and family, the very people who might see what's happening and validate your feelings, are a threat to their control. They'll create conflict, subtly or not so subtly, between you and your loved ones. You'll hear comments like, "Your sister is always trying to cause drama between us," or "Your friends don't really have your best interests at heart. They're just jealous." They monopolize your time and create chaos whenever you plan to see other people, until it just feels easier to stay home with them. This isolation makes you completely dependent on them for everything, reinforcing the idea that they're the only one you can truly count on. This is also where they might begin to infantilize you, treating you like a child who can't make decisions. They might take over your finances, saying, "Don't you worry about the bills, I'll handle it." It seems helpful, but it's really a way to trap you. They might start to police your daily life, where you go, what you wear, even when you sleep. At this point, the net has pulled tight. You feel confused, alone, and completely dependent on the very person who took all your power away. Before we get into how you can start untangling this net, I want you to think for a second. What's one small request or comment that you can now look back on and recognize as one of the first pulls on that net? If you feel comfortable, share it in the comments. You don't have to share any details you don't want to, but reading other people's stories can be incredibly validating and helps everyone here feel less alone. Part 2. Agitate. Why is this so hard to see? If you're watching this and the pieces are starting to click into place, your first question is probably, why didn't I see this sooner? I need you to hear this loud and clear. It is not your fault. Coercive control is designed to be sneaky. It's designed to fly under the radar. You're not just having an argument, you're playing what one expert calls emotional chess, except you don't know you're playing and the rules keep changing. The manipulator's tactics are built to create deep psychological confusion. You're likely experiencing something called cognitive dissonance, that awful mental stress of holding two opposite beliefs at the same time. I love this person, and this person is hurting me. To deal with that conflict, your brain often clings to the good moments, creating what's known as a trauma bond. This is a powerful, confusing attachment to an abuser that's fueled by a cycle of good and bad, the love bombing followed by devaluation. That emotional roller coaster keeps you hooked, always hoping for the good version of them to come back. Meanwhile, the constant gaslighting and blame shifting wear down your most important tool, your trust in yourself. You start to believe their story, that you're too sensitive, that you're forgetful, that you're irrational. This can lead to serious mental health issues, like anxiety, depression, and even PTSD. You're in a constant state of high alert, walking on eggshells to avoid the next explosion. It's hard to recognize the abuse when the abuser has systematically taken away the very tools you would use to see it, your intuition, your memory, and your self-worth. Part 3. Solve, your 3-step path to clarity. Recognizing the pattern is the first, huge leap toward freedom. It means the fog is finally starting to lift. So, let's talk about the how. Breaking free from coercive control isn't always a single, dramatic exit. It's a process of taking back your mind and your life, one step at a time. Here is a 3-step path to help you find that clarity. Step 1. Trust your gut. For so long, you've been told your feelings are wrong. Your first act of rebellion is to stop believing that. That feeling in the pit of your stomach that something is off, that sense of dread you feel, that's your intuition. It's the most reliable compass you have, and it's been screaming at you. Your feelings are valid, even if you can't explain them perfectly. The abuser wants you to trust their voice over your own. Start listening to yours again. That nagging feeling isn't paranoia, it's data. It's the truth. Step 2. Document, don't debate. Trying to win an argument with the manipulator is a game you will always lose. They will deflect, lie, and gaslight you until you're more confused than when you started. They don't want a resolution, they want control. So, stop debating with them. Start documenting for yourself. Get a private journal or a password-protected app on your phone. Write down what happens. What did they say? What did you say? How did it make you feel? Be specific. For example, tonight, I said I wanted to see my friend. They said, you'd rather see them than me? I felt guilty, so I canceled. This isn't about gathering evidence for a trial against them. It's about creating a clarity list for you. It gives you an objective record you can look back on. When you start doubting yourself or only remembering the good times, this journal will be your anchor to reality. It will show you the undeniable pattern that they work so hard to hide. Step 3. Start with one small boundary. The idea of leaving can feel impossible, especially if you feel isolated or financially trapped. So don't start there. Start by taking back one tiny piece of yourself. A boundary is simply the line where you end and they begin. Your first boundary doesn't have to be a huge confrontation. It can be a simple, firm no. No, I can't do that right now. I will be going to my sister's house on Saturday. I'm not going to have this conversation while you're yelling. Be prepared for pushback. A manipulator will test your new boundaries again and again. But holding firm on one small thing is a powerful act of self-respect. It sends a message, mostly to yourself, that you have a right to your own time, your own decisions, in your own space. Every small boundary you hold rebuilds the self-esteem that coercion stole from you. It's the first step in loosening that net and remembering how strong you really are. Coercive control is a uniquely devastating form of abuse because it operates in the shadows and makes you question your own mind. It starts with guilt and builds to total isolation. But seeing the tactics for what they are, the love bombing, the gaslighting, the isolation, is the first step to taking your life back. The path out of the fog begins with trusting your gut, documenting your reality, and setting one small boundary at a time. Please, hear this, you are not crazy. You are not overreacting. Your reality is valid, and you deserve to feel safe, respected, and free. Healing from this isn't just about leaving a person, it's about returning to yourself. If this video resonated with you, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. We're building a community here dedicated to understanding and healing from these tough situations, and your presence makes us all stronger. Thank you so much for being here. You've already taken a huge step,